Hello, I'm Matt, and I would like to welcome you to the channel. If this is your first visit to our channel, please like, subscribe, and click the notification bell so you will know when we upload a new video. If you've decided to click on this video, you may be wondering what a guy is doing with a pressure washer pressure washing the root ball of an 85-foot pine tree. Well, the reason that I'm using this pressure washer on this root ball is I don't think that my tractor can pick it up unless I get rid of a bunch of the sand and dirt that's attached to the roots. So I thought I'd take a little while and use the pressure washer to see if I could knock some of the dirt and sand off and make the stump lighter so I can pick it up. I use our tools and equipment in a manner that I am comfortable with. Ensure you follow all of the manufacturer's safety instructions for the tools and equipment that you use, as failure to do so could lead to serious bodily injury or death. I spent quite a bit of time playing around with this pressure washer, and then I decided to use the hose without the pressure washer. So I played around with the hose for a while, and it did clean a bit of the loose dirt off, and in some instances it seemed to work better than the pressure washer until I got the majority of the dirt and sand off, and then it just really didn't seem to work so well. So then I went back to the pressure washer. And it was kind of interesting, as the closer I got to where the grass was, the harder it seemed to stick to the roots. But in the end, I did get quite a bit of the dirt cleaned off. In the future, I'll just use the tractor with the grapple and knock the dirt off manually, as this took entirely too long and really wasn't very effective. But I thought I'd show you to give you an idea of what I tried. So then I went and put the grapple on the tractor just to see if it might move the stump. When I looked at the stump when I was cleaning it up with the water, I thought it looked like it was cut loose pretty well. Well, to be honest with you, I was kidding myself, because there was no way this grapple and this tractor was picking up this big heavy root ball until I had knocked a whole bunch more dirt off of the root ball and pulled the roots up that were still attached underneath of the root ball. I went ahead and decided to show you this effort just so that you might know, in case you might think of trying to move a root ball with a grapple and a tractor this size, that it just ain't gonna work. I am able to wiggle it back and forth, kinda like a loose tooth, but kinda like most of your loose tooths in your life, that little bit of effort just really ain't gonna get it out. You gotta hook a string to the doorknob and slam the door if you really want to get it out of your mouth. Okay, maybe we'll try another angle. You know, I really am kinda stubborn sometimes. And I really tried really hard to get this out with a grapple, though it really was a waste of time. But I thought I'd show it to you, just so that you won't waste your time in the future. Unless you happen to know a better way to use this grapple to get this stump out. And if you do, leave a comment in the comments section. Okay, enough of this. Time to go get the stump bucket. So I went and swapped the grapple out for the Titan Economy Stumpbucket, and I'm really impressed with how well this stump bucket works. But because it took me over an hour and about 15 minutes to get this whole stump loose, I'm going to go ahead and speed the video up by 25x, so it doesn't take quite so long, but you can still be a little bit entertained with how I get this stump loose. I keep working my way around the stump in a circle and keep loosening it up as I go and watching the ground to see where I have roots that are still hanging up. This is the root ball of a longleaf pine, and all of the other pines that I've pulled up were loblollies or shortleaf pines, and it's amazing how different the root structure is. With the loblolly stumps that I've pulled up, the root ball is only about maybe 15 or 18 inches around the taproot, so you spend all of your time working really on the taproot because the roots around it don't really do you a whole lot of good. And then with the shortleaf pines, the root structure is so shallow that you can usually just use the grapple to rip most of those out. But the root structure on this longleaf pine, now granted, it's a much bigger tree than the other trees I've pulled up, but the root structure is so much more massive, and on top of that, you still have the taproot. It's not quite as massive as the oak tree, but with the oak tree, you don't have as big a taproot, and that makes it kind of entertaining to get this stump out of the ground. Okay, time to cut part of what I can see of the taproot, because I'm still not getting it out with just the tractor. And now the supervisor showed up. Yeah, that's my 87-year-old dad, and he's wearing a bright yellow shirt to make sure I don't run him over. I did eventually get the stump pulled up, and I picked it up with the grapple and took it out, but unfortunately my camera died before I got it out, so I missed that little bit of footage. When I put the grapple back on it, with all the dirt knocked off the root ball, it just barely picked up the root ball. So I know it wouldn't have picked up that root ball with all of that dirt still attached. So that was at least an idea. But in the future, I'd just use the grapple or the stump bucket to knock the dirt off the root ball so that I don't waste so much time. Now it's time to finish cleaning up all of this mess. This Rackmaster grapple still is very impressive, and it's wonderful to be able to pick this stuff up and just haul it off. This is more of the roots that got pulled loose from the root ball that I'm hauling off to our pile. The amount of force the jaws of this grapple has is just amazing. Shaking out some of the dirt so I don't have to replace it. I just noticed one of the hydraulic lines on the grapple is loose, so I have to stop and tighten it up. It's one thing about the grapple, with the vibrations of the machine, and you do bump the lines on stuff at times, the lines do loosen up, so I make sure I have a set of wrenches handy so that I can tighten them up and get right back to business. I try to clean up as many roots as I can so they don't stay in the ground where they would deteriorate and become ruts in my yard later that I'd have to fill again. Time for a little shaky shake. Now I'm bringing in some fill dirt, and it still amazes me for how much root and root ball that you take out, how little dirt it really takes to level things back out. I think I ended up with 5 bucket loads of dirt, but it still amazes me how little dirt it takes to fill this big hole in. Time to make use of the box blade. I've tried leveling things out with a bucket, but I seem to have a lot better luck when I use the box blade. The box blade sure seems to do a much better job. I go over the hole at different angles to try to level it all off and get something that's relatively even, and the box blade does a really good job of this. That looks pretty good, but now it's time for the secret weapon. This Woodmaxx Flail Mower, I know really isn't supposed to be designed for leveling off dirt, but it does a really good job of leveling it, leveling the clods out and eating up a lot of the roots that are sticking up. I'm really glad I bought this Woodmaxx Flail Mower because I find uses for it all the time, and it really amazes me how well it flattens things off and cleans up the roots and pine cones and pretty much anything else you run over. It's nice to have a tractor back and having these tools to use, because this makes my yard look so much better. I know I could go rent equipment, but I kind of like having my own, because right when you want to rent it is exactly when everybody else wants to rent them, and this is so much easier. It is quite a large investment, but I'm glad I bought a tractor, and I'll be glad when the paperwork on this one is done. If you've enjoyed the content, please like, subscribe, and click the notification bell so you will know when we upload new content. If you have a friend that may enjoy this content, please share. If you have a question, or you know more about tractors than I do, and want to leave a comment telling me how I could do something better, I would greatly appreciate it if you left a comment in the comments section. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have an awesome day.